Hi there, welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing really well today. Welcome here if you're new. I'm Kay and today we are going to be doing a power hour, very much needed. I thought I would do a nap time clean, so you don't need to have a child to do a nap time clean, you just need a timer. Set yourself a timer for a specific amount of time. Today we're going to try and do an hour. He's gone down for his nap, it's his morning nap, and watch me jinx myself saying this. Usually he has at least an hour and a half to 2.5 hours in the morning, so it gives me a good chunk of time to just blitz around the house, make the house feel really nice, and then I get to just sit down, have a cuppa, have a bit of a chill out for that last little bit of time, however long that might be. Watch it today, he's going to wake up after 30 minutes, but so be it. That is what this is all about. It's just fitting in what I can when I can. That is the kind of life I'm living at the moment. So I thought I would bring you along and hope that this inspires you if you need to do the same, and also remind you how much you can get done in a very short space of time. I do love a good clean. It's more like a surface level clean, I feel like, you know, a power hour or a nap time clean. It's just making the house look tidy. I leave actually like fully cleaning the house properly to days where I've got more time to do that. So today we are focusing on surface level cleaning, making the house feel good, putting the laundry away, putting the washing out on the line, you know, getting rid of stuff that I need to declutter, just tidying up. They've got dead flowers here, so they need to go, just things like that. So I'm going to stop blabbering on and I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to start upstairs because he's just literally gone down for his nap, and I find that if I make a noise, he tends to not get disturbed at the beginning of his nap compared to when he's like further on into his sleep. So let's get cracking. I do need to find my phone wherever that might be, and we'll set a timer and hopefully I can achieve quite a lot in the time that I've set myself. So starting off setting my timer for an hour and then cracking on as fast as I can. I am starting off in the bedroom, like I said. I tend to do my hair, then let my straighteners cool down and then pop them all away. And every day is the same. Some days I do put them away, other days I just don't get there. And that's fine. And I just like to kind of move things around, make things look a little bit more neat and organised. I remembered Dom's shirt was there and I'd ironed that the night before. I do like to make my bed after the morning has happened, if that makes sense. I like to air it out, especially now it's hot. We sweat so much during the night, so I like to let it air out a little bit and then I make my bed. There's actually a brilliant quote that always sticks with me by William H. McRaven, and it is, "If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and it will encourage you to do another task and another and another. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made, and a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better." And I love that so much, and I do take pride in my bed, and it's such a simple thing. My mum drilled it into me from when I was very small, but I do love it being made, and I love coming home and seeing it beautifully made. It makes such a difference to my mood and how I feel my bedroom looks as well. So yeah, just popping all these little bits and bobs away that I've got out throughout the day, straightening things up, and it just feels a lot better in here already. Going through this mountain of washing, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt a bit aggrieved because I think like 2 things in the entire pile were mine and everything was everyone else's, but that is just motherhood for you. So, you know, the majority of those clothes are my son's. So just popping my clothes away, and then Dom just had a few bits, and the rest, like I say, they were my little boys, so I popped them in a pile because I obviously can't put them away at the minute with him being in his room. So I'll put those away at some point in the future when I get the chance. Moving on to the laundry now, I love to put a wash on in the morning when I get up, and then I kind of try and time it so that it's finished once I know he's gone down for his nap. It's so much easier to put the laundry out when he's in bed. I'm not feeling like I'm trying to juggle too much then as well. And then it's out for the day and it's drying, and that just feels like a real accomplishment. Since having him, I'm doing so much more laundry, and I tend to find doing a few smaller loads a week is a lot more achievable and just a lot easier as well. So I try to wash our bedding at least once a week. We've now got 2 sets of bedding. For a long time I just had the one, but since having my son I just find it so much easier having 2, and it takes all the stress out of it. So I don't wash it all in one go anymore. I just tend to put a few little bits and bobs in and wash as I go. He's got a lot of lighter clothes. Well, we all have a lot of lighter clothes. We do tend to wear a lot more light colours than dark. I think it's a byproduct of having two very, very fluffy white rag dolls. Black is just not a colour that you wear in this house of ours. So yeah, I just throw whatever I can in, and I tend to find it washes better that way as well when I'm not overloading the washing machine all the time. This is one of my favourite things to do. It's so peaceful. I love to just hear all the birds tweeting in the morning, feeling the grass beneath my feet, and just taking a minute to breathe. To some people this would feel like such a chore, just a boring thing to do, but for me this is just so peaceful, and one of those things that just gives me great joy in life. I love being in the garden, and I love the garden we've created for ourselves, so just being able to hang my washing out and have it dry naturally just feels so nice. Moving on to the kitchen, there's just some pots from this morning, and I had my lunch as well while he was awake, so that I knew that was done and I could just crack on with cleaning. So I'm just putting all of the stuff away from yesterday, so we tend to take it in turns. So some days Dom will put him to bed, some days I will put him to bed, and whoever is the one who's not putting our son to bed is the one who tidies the house, basically puts all the toys away, resets the house ready for the next day, which includes doing the washing up from the pots that night. So we do that, and we don't tend to put them away. We don't have a dishwasher, and it's getting to be one of those things. It's just like, oof. One day we'll have a dishwasher and it won't be us, and that will be a glorious day, but today is not that day. So yeah, we do the pots or the dishes on the evening, and then we let them dry overnight. We've just never been people who dry them and put them straight away. It's just not something that we do. So that's that. So as soon as I've put all the dishes away, I create new dishes that I then dry in, and that's just one of those things that I've accepted in life. It's very rare that they're all away and the draining board is actually clear, but that's okay to me. This is a house and we live in it, and some things, you know, it's just the way they are. So just giving everything a good old scrub, and it feels nice. It feels nice to be able to go into the afternoon and know that I can make more pots for tea, and it's not going to be completely overwhelming for whoever is on duty that evening. But let me tell you, the difference it makes to me to just be able to put everything away on an evening. It means that I wake up in the morning and the house is just reset and ready to go, and that feels amazing, especially with, you know, a young child. It can get incredibly stressful at times, and when I went into motherhood, I said to Dom, you know, I really want to keep the house tidy as we can, and he's helped me so much with that, which is amazing. My role as a homemaker has changed a lot since having my little boy, and some things have changed, and we've just adapted and rolled with it with time. And so what works for us might not work for other people, but we really love working together and making it easier for both of us. One of the things that often gets missed though is the stove top, so I'm just making sure to go in there and give that a good clean. So yeah, I do think that this just makes a big difference to the kitchen when the stove is clean, or the hob, that's what we call it. It's not a stove, is it? When the hob's clean, it makes a big difference. We recently got this new hob, and oh, it's so much easier to clean than the old one. This kitchen must be more than 20 years old, and it's starting to show. So yeah, it felt really nice to just have a new hob put in, and it's made a really big difference being able to actually clean it really well as well. For a long time, only one of the hobs actually worked, and so it's really weird to have 4 again. It's funny what you get used to, isn't it? Sometimes we put up with things and I think, why did I put up with that for so long? So there's a quote by Marie Kondo that is, "Tidying is the act of confronting yourself." And I think that that rings so true for me. It really can be confronting, and it's not just yourself, it's your entire family. It's how you all live and how you go about your days. It doesn't matter how many times I say to myself, "Kay, put things away as you use them. Kay, find a home for things." I don't, and that's just part of my personality. I'm never gonna be a tidy person. I am going to be a person who is messy and loves to be tidy, and so spend my entire life tidying up after myself, and that is just one of those things. And I do think that that quote is just a humbling one, isn't it? When you are faced with your home, you do think, why on earth did I let it get into this state? But it's just one of those things, and I think tackling it is such a big step forward. And yeah, I think it's a bit like decluttering in a way. It's bringing all that clutter into your home and then thinking, why did I do this in the first place? Having to spend a long time decluttering and sorting all your stuff out, and then being really careful about what you bring into your home in the future. To me, cleaning is a little bit like that, and every time I feel overwhelmed about cleaning the house, I think, next time, try harder. Next time, don't be so messy. It takes 2 seconds to wipe up a spill or put that cloth away, or, you know, whatever it is, and it takes a lot longer to do all of those things all in one go. So I'm just picking up toys that I've missed. There's always a sneaky toy that gets away, and just popping those in this toy box. Best thing I ever did was get that toy box. It hides a multitude of sins. I just got some clothes here that are going upstairs to be stored. They're just from a family member, which is really kind. And then tidying up the table. I do think with having the open plan house we have, when the table has loads of stuff on it, it just starts to make that whole house feel messy, even if the rest of the house is tidy. So I try to keep on top of this. If there's anything that's in progress, I just pop it onto the chairs, and then it can be dealt with, like when Dom comes home, but he's at work all day, so he doesn't need his stuff out on the table, and he's fine with that. Just putting the high chair back together, tidying up the wash dresser, because that's another thing that can just make the house feel a lot more messy than it actually is. And then, yeah, just moving all of the expired flowers, shall we say. There are quite a lot in the house. It's that time of year where we try and bring as many flowers in as possible. They were from the supermarket, but we've got a lot of posies around, and as beautiful as they look, they do suddenly just turn. And I do think one way to make your house just feel that little bit more messy is to have flowers that are past their best. So I'm popping my fake flowers back on the table because it's not shopping day today. So I do think that they elevate the room. They make it feel that little bit nicer than just giving the table a quick old wipe, just to make sure it's nice and clean, ready for, well, making more mess, I'm sure, once we have some more food later on. Another sticking point for me is this under the stairs storage. As lovely as it looks, I'm so bad. This is one of my cluttery spots where I just throw things and then have to deal with it. I have done a lot better since having my little boy. I've been trying really hard to be mindful of what I put down here, and it's been doing a lot better. Then, as I say, it's that one touch rule. So I did touch them twice, but I wanted to put those things upstairs, so put them on the stairs and take them up the stairs, don't just leave them on the stairs. And then tidying up this little bit as well. It's like our entryway, and sometimes this gets a bit cluttered. Stuff just gets dumped on there, and the shoes end up not actually going back in the shoebox, even the shoebox is just right there. So just being mindful to put these things away, and reminding myself along the way that it will be a lot easier just to do it when I take my shoes off. But hey, it's one of those things. I've got this bag of decluttering, so after I decluttered my wardrobe, I actually inspired Dom, so he had a good go as well, and he got rid of quite a bit. So taking these to the charity shop later on, but the first place they need to go is the car. And I actually got rid of a cat toy as well that they just never played with, and it feels nice to have that out of the house. One thing about having a small house is it's just a game of shuffle. I'm constantly shuffling things back and forth, things that don't actually have a home, like my little boy's baby walker and the laundry basket. Found a random remote in there as well, so someone's been having fun with that. And then I'm moving the cat bowls so that I can give the floor a good old mop. I really love this quick Swiffer mop. I think it's great to just give it a quick tidy. It's not as good a clean as a proper mop, but it does the job to just make sure that the surfaces are quite clean and gets rid of any muddy footprints from the cats, which are notorious at this time of year where it's so dewy and damp in the morning and then it gets really hot in the afternoon. Before I mop, I love to hoover up. We got this hoover, I think last year, or maybe it was about 6 months ago, I don't know. We had the Dyson for a very long time and it met its end. But we got this one, it's the Henry Hoover, and it's so good. So yeah, I've had comments about this in the past. I really recommend it, it's fantastic. We've also got Henry upstairs, or is it Hetty? I think it's Hetty, we got the girl one, don't we? So she's upstairs, she's the wired one, which is good for like a proper deep clean, but this one's fantastic to just whiz around the house. So I highly recommend it, especially if you've got pets. It does such a great job at picking up hair, and it's so easy to break down, you know, pull it all apart and store it like that. We don't have like anywhere to put stuff like this, so it's nice to have something that can come apart and be stored in a different way than just like completely upright. It just wouldn't work for us to have a Hoover that was like that. One thing I think about having a smaller house is it makes you really consider the things that you buy and have in your home. So a lot of things I have are multi-purpose, multi-use, and take up a lot less space than other things, and I think that's something that you kind of figure out along the way. I knew from the start when we moved here having a massive Hoover just wouldn't work for us, and so I was really careful with what we did choose, and things like the high chair as well. It's nice that it can just be out all the time without it feeling like it's an eyesore, and it's also really practical as well, so I love that. And I think that's one thing for me with homemaking is just trying to be that little bit more intentional about the things I have and the things I bring into my home, because at the end of the day I'm the one that's going to have to look after them and make sure, you know, they stay nice and clean and tidy and fit with my home as well, and also are practical. That's the most important thing, right? One thing I thought I would do, I had a little bit of time left on my timer, was put all of these balls back into the bag. I got them the other day and he has so much fun. But again, it's one of those things, they have fun until they're there all the time, and then it's a case of putting them away. And I really have been putting this off, but I thought, no, today is the day. Today is the day we put them away, and there we go. They're all organised and back in the bag. I've mentioned this playpen loads. I really, really recommend it. It's fantastic, especially for a smaller house. And so I'm putting it back in its rightful place rather than it just being out on the side because there was too many balls for it to fit where it was before. And then they're going away, they're all tidy, and it just looks so much better. The house feels a million times tidier, more clean. There's just that feeling of space, which I just crave so much in my home. And it feels like a massive accomplishment. So we've got all of that done, and now I can now just sit and chill and enjoy. Whew, we are done. I'm very glowy. So many of you are like, Kay, you're glowing. No, this is sweat. It's very hot today. Even my camera kept saying, I'm overheating. It's like, yes, me too. Glad to be able to put my feet up now and chill. My timer went off about 5 minutes ago. It takes a lot longer to film yourself cleaning than it does just cleaning. So maybe out there, if you set a timer, you might get a bit more done than I have to do. It surprised me actually how much I managed to get done in an hour today. I wouldn't have thought all that was possible, but it just goes to show when you set a timer, it really helps to break down tasks in your head. So yeah, things like the washing up, I think, for me, I think, oh, it's going to take me ages. And actually, I've timed myself often doing this. I set a 10-minute timer and I wash up and it's done. And I've managed to actually clean the kitchen at the same time. It really doesn't take as long as we think it's going to take. make. So I promise you, if you set yourself a little timer, 15 minutes, half an hour, and just crack on, you'll be amazed how much you get done and then how much more of your day you've got to enjoy. If you're like me, the state of your home really reflects your mental health, and it impacts my mental health when my home is messy. I'm no like crazy clean freak or anything like that, but I do have that little bit of pride in my house and the way I present myself to the world, so I really like it to feel nice in here. It makes such a difference with how I go about my day, how I hold myself, how I feel about myself. So yeah, I try really hard to keep on top of it. It's harder now than it ever has been, but I'm just kind of figuring it out and adapting as I go along. And you know, we're going out this afternoon, so I didn't need to keep all of his toys out, but often I will tidy everything away, then I'll get his playmat back out and I'll select a few toys and we'll play with those, and that's kind of how I do it. So the toys we've used in the morning aren't always the same toys as the afternoon, so there's no reason for me to keep them out all the time. It's such a small house, let's be honest, and you know, if there are 5 different toys out all at the same time and then we're getting out 5 more, it can soon just feel really claustrophobic. So I try to be mindful for me, for my son as well, you know, so he's not feeling overwhelmed. But yeah, we're going out this afternoon, so I don't need to worry about that. And if not, I think we'd be in the garden. So if we're going in the garden, I want my house to feel tidy inside, which it does. It feels incredible in here, so much better, so much more airy. I really love mopping the floor. That sounds really sad, I know, but I just feel like mopping the floor just gives the house a whole new feel, and the floors feel really, really clean as well, which is so nice. So yeah, I hope, come up for air, that's a lot of words all in one go, oh my goodness. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it's inspired you. If you need to do the same, you need to crack on with cleaning, get that timer set, 15 minutes, half an hour, see what you can get done, and I promise you, you will feel so much better after it. It's such a good boost of self-confidence, self-esteem, and just motivation as well. So yes, that's it from me. Hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I shall see you all again in my next video. Bye.